Hi everybody, Morgana Galaxia here. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're with me today. So there's a lot going on, isn't there? Today what I want to do is look at Lindsey Graham. I know that story's been kind of out there for several days now, and it almost seems like it kind of faded, especially given the whole Michigan shenanigans that are going on. But I want to look at Lindsey Graham because he just interfered in the election, and he was accused of that by the Georgia Secretary of State, and that conversation was corroborated by a second party. So, are they going to do anything about this? Are there going to be any consequences for Lindsey? Let's take a look. And the other thing I want to read on today is Michigan. So Trump crooked his fingers to the Michigan GOP to come visit him in the White House, ostensibly to pressure them to overturn the election. And they went, fine, I'll say, yeah, if the president calls, you can't really say no, right? So they went, and they came out of that meeting basically saying, oh, we're going to follow the normal procedures. These things cannot be threatened or undermined. But yet today on the news, we hear that the Michigan GOP is going to be calling for them to delay certification by 2 weeks. And the RNC is also calling for a delay of a couple weeks in these certifications. So sounds to me like Trump got to them. Let's take a look at what that's all about too. Okay, but first, let's talk about Lady Lindsey Graham. All right, Lindsey. I want to know if there's going to be consequences. Is he going to lose his Senate seat? Is he going to be brought up, at least on ethics charges? Is he going to be censured? Is anything going to happen to this guy? He just got voted back into his office. So he's sitting there for another few years at least, unless this, what I think most people call obvious election fraud. Oh my goodness. Oh, just 1 second. One moment, people, have to fix my cards. All right, everybody. So Lindsey Graham, are there going to be any consequences for his actions? Any at all? How is this going to pan out for Lindsey in the long term? Short term, long term. Lindsey Graham. Come on, show me Lindsey. All right, viewers, let's bring you down. Okay, Lindsey. Lindsey Graham, will there be any repercussions for you? Any repercussions for you, Lindsey? All right, viewers, we're starting out here with the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands. So the situation here I'm feeling is that Lindsey is feeling pretty good about himself and pretty confident because he got his Senate seat back. He was reelected. So now he feels like a little bit of vindication, and also he's got a sense of security. So he feels very comfortable sitting up on top of his perch here, screaming, calling out election fraud, okay? So it's because he is feeling that confidence, feeling a little bit more security, and I'm sure he's also feeling some pressure from Trump. There's a lot of pressure there, but he's on his perch, he's squawking. I'm squawking out election fraud. So you could see in this beautiful card, the crow has his mouth shut. And I think this is indicating to us that Lindsay knows he's wrong, okay? He knows he's wrong. He knows he needs to shut his mouth. But yet, take a look again, but yet those feathers are flying. There's a kerfluffle, and he's being called to take this kind of action from his higher authorities. So he doesn't like it. He probably normally wouldn't have done it, but he made that call to Georgia. If I said Michigan earlier, I'm sorry, I meant Georgia. That's the Secretary of State that he called to try and get them to overturn their election or to throw away votes, okay? The energy that's crossing Miss Lindsay here is the devil. Is the devil. So this is his attachment to Trump and Trump's administration. This is his sort of slavish behavior towards his master. He is chained, okay? He cannot escape the devil. He sold his soul to the devil, and now the devil's treating him like a puppet, okay? So this is the energy that's crossing Lindsay. He can't shake that. He might not like it, but it controls him. What's in the sky above the situation, what's conscious, is the Five of Pentacles. So this is, the Five of Pentacles is asking him, do you want to go with the group here? Do you want to go with the group, or do you, so just one moment again. So again, with the Five of Pentacles, what's in the sky over Lindsay, what he's facing, is a loss, okay? He's kind of feeling like he's out in the cold. He's exposed to the elements. So what I'm feeling here is that, he didn't think that what he did, that phone call to Georgia, would get out in the public sphere. He didn't think that Georgian Secretary of State was going to disclose to the public that Lindsay made that phone call, okay? Now that we all know what's happened, it's all over the news, we're all talking about it, he's feeling very exposed to the elements, so to speak. He's feeling at a loss. He's not quite sure the best way to recover from this exposure of his actions, okay? So he's not quite sure what to do about it, and he's really fearing that this is going to somehow expel him from the Senate, okay? He's fearing his expulsion, his banishment from the House, the Senate, based on these actions. That hasn't come to pass yet, but this is occupying his mind. How far is this going to go? What's going to happen to me because of this? Am I going to lose everything because of this? What's foundational to the reading, or what might be unconscious for Lindsay, is the Four of Cups here, which has shown us, that he had some choices to make. He had a choice in this. He had the ability to say no or to go another route, but he made the choice. He made the choice to make that phone call and to basically commit election fraud. He might have felt like he might have felt a little strong-armed in doing that. We know that Trump, good Lord, who knows what this guy is saying to Republicans. He probably felt like he didn't have any other choice, okay? He kind of felt this was the least bad option. Maybe this act could have gained him a little something, offset his disappointment in other areas. He just felt like he had no other choice. He had to do this, but he's not happy about it. It's not satisfactory. He's very conflicted, I guess you could say. This card can often mean apathy. And when it comes to upholding the Constitution and the rule of law, he was definitely apathetic in that way. He's just not caring enough about what's good, what's true, what's legal, what's appropriate, that he can be led astray like this to make these kind of bad decisions. And that's what's foundational to Lindsay, is that he's just been making one bad decision after another. All right, and it all started once he flipped from, we've all seen the footage, right? He really flipped from being a pretty severe Trump critic to being one of Trump's yes men. So, in the recent past, the energy that Lindsay just came through here is the Seven of Wands, which means he's defending himself. He really had a hard time with that in his race against, was it Jamie Harrison or Jamie Harris? He had to fight hard for that Senate seat. He had to really beat back that competition and to stay high on his perch. So he just came through a really tough battle, to keep his seat. A lot of self-defense. Okay, so he's already in that energy of being self-defensive, of having to fight and scrape for what he has to hold on to. So there's some desperation there. The energy he's going to be moving on into with the Page of Pentacles, essentially that's an opportunity to make some money. It can certainly be a job opportunity, but any kind of opportunity where you're getting some money, some funds, some resources. So I'm wondering if maybe that call that he made to Georgia, there might have been an incentive to do that. Of course, if they do flip Georgia, or I should say, if Trump manages to stall out Georgia or flip the election or flip electorals or whatever his plans are, Lindsay's thinking, and that could benefit him. But yes, he's looking at financial benefits for his actions. How he's seeing himself in this situation is the Moon card. Okay, so this tells me that he knows he's wrong. He knows he's lying. He knows it was inappropriate. He knows it was beyond the pale. He knows it was deceptive. Okay, he does. And you know it because if anybody on the Democratic side would have done what he done, he would have been screaming a bloody murder, okay? These people know they're hypocrites. He knows perfectly well his actions are underhanded. So the influence from those around him is the Six of Wands. Okay. So what this card is telling me right here, here's Lindsay in the spotlight, okay, completely exposed. All these crows down here, they know exactly what he did, okay? He is isolated. The light is shining on him. He is known for what he is. People have his card now. They've got his number. He's in the spotlight, being exposed. And I'm sure every time he walks into the Senate chambers, there must be so many Democratic eyes on him, just looking at him. We know what you did. We know what you did. Okay, hopes and fears is Temperance. I definitely feel like this is a hope for Lindsay. I feel like Lindsay's hope is that he is just going to kind of lay low, under the radar, be moderate in his actions, right? Sort of balance the line, kind of proceed, as innocuously as he can. Just sort of lay low, be under the radar. Maybe if he ignores it, it'll go away. It's kind of the feeling I'm getting here. If he just kind of minds his P's and Q's and looks the other way and pretends, moderate his behavior, that everyone is just gonna sort of, oh, forget it, that was yesterday's news. Oh, Lindsay must not have meant what he did, or oh, he's hoping that if he's moderate in his behavior, that will reflect upon him with a moderation of judgment from others, I guess is kind of what I'm feeling from that. He's just gonna kind of treat it with kid gloves and hope he gets that treatment in return. However, the outcome is the Star. So the outcome being the Star, well, I'll definitely tell you, the Star is generally a very positive card. That's certainly not telling me he's going to get any sort of negative consequence from this. Any optimism or hope that his actions would have, grown must have been very short-lived, because nothing came of it. It didn't happen. I feel like maybe he just thinks that he looks like a star in the eyes of Trump, or a star in the eyes of Trump's Republican base. All those Republicans who are going along with Trump's plan to basically pretend Joe Biden's win didn't happen. It's like blind optimism, right? Kind of like la 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 la. That's how I'm feeling. Like their hope, their optimism is just, it's based on thinking all these wrong actions are going to succeed. All the shady phone calls are going to make a difference. All the calling, GOPers into the White House. I know that's Trump, not Lindsay, but those kind of actions are going to make a difference. They're going to change the vote. They're going to overturn the election, and they're going to give the win to Trump, right? That is their hope. That's their bright star. And I guess either somehow his action, even though what he did in Georgia wasn't successful, I think it gave other people, other GOP's people, other Trumpers, a little bit of hope, a little bit of optimism that somehow somebody is going to do something to bring their dream into reality. And of course, their dream is Trump being the president for another 4 years. So I guess that's kind of really all I'm getting from this. I'm not seeing any long-term consequences. I don't see, the only loss that I'm seeing here is more of a threat, or perhaps a fear for Lindsay. But given that Trump's in power, Lindsay just won his seat, I think if anything, the Star is telling us that phone call into Georgia, that action he took, that voter fraud that he committed, was just was looked upon well by those people that Lindsay cares about. He cares about the Republicans. He's still concerned with Trump's base. And in those people's eyes, what Lindsay did was great, was wonderful, was heroic. Who knows what, they're just so turned around. So I think if anything, he might be getting some props for that. He might be getting, some, this is going to sort of absurdly, in a negative, upside down way, almost be like something he can be proud of, or that other people are going to give him a high five for. Because they are cray-cray. Okay, that party right now. All right, well, that's Lindsay. It's not exactly what I wanted to see in the cards. I was hoping to see, what was that, 10 of Swords or something, but it just didn't happen. All right, maybe we'll look again at some other time. Because maybe after the Biden-Harris administration is in, something can happen there. But the next thing I want to read on is Michigan. So Trump called those people in. Hey, throw away votes, don't certify, don't certify, delay the certification. They're talking about the 12th Amendment, which I don't really think would apply here. Basically says if enough states don't certify, then the Electoral College goes to a different method in which each state gets one vote. And of course, then Trump would win because there were more states that voted for him, you know, less populated states. So that's sort of what people are talking about. Michigan GOP came out of there swearing they weren't going to do anything different. And now we understand that they're saying, let's delay the certification for 2 weeks. All right, so I guess what I want to see is what's Michigan going to do? What is Michigan going to do? Are they going to delay, or are they going to certify as normal? They're going to delay, or are they going to certify as normal? How is Michigan, what's Michigan going to do? How does this Michigan certification turn out? All right, Michigan certification. I think I want to do a what the fudge spread on this, because what the Michigan. All right, what the actual fudge? Question mark. All right, you guys and gals. So what's the situation here? We've got a 3 of wands and a 2 of wands. So right here, I'll tell you, going from a 3 or a 2, the situation is deteriorating. It's declining in vibration, okay? So with the 3 of wands, this would be certification. That action forward. You know, you had the vote, you counted the vote, now it's time to certify the vote. You take that first step into moving forward in a manifested action. Okay, so that's a certification of all the stuff that took place right there. But with the 2 of wands, with the 2 of wands, that process has been stopped and backed up, right? We're going from 3 to 2. We're going from certification, backing that up a step to pause it and to still fiddle with those votes, right? So I'm not feeling a recount here so much as a pause, a delay. Let's, you know, these 2 wands crossing, they're bringing it back into like a planning stage, a thinking stage. So they're regressing from this action they need to take of certification. They're regressing back into thinking, okay, planning, organizing. So that's what the situation is. They're trying to reverse, to back up Michigan's process, to get away from that certification and back more into planning. What can we do? What can we do? What is actual about this that we know for sure with the Ace of Wands here? Ace of Wands. I feel like the deed is done. Okay, the people have spoken. It's been declared. Everybody knows the deed is done. The work has been done. So what they're trying to do, it's hard to undo something that's already been declared. So I just, you know, this is all, the wands, the Ace of Wands is all the work that needs to move forward now. You know, the transition, releasing funds, you know, getting all the states to certify. So, you know, the transition process can continue. It's already out there. I don't see how, you know, that's what's real about this. It's a done deal. These attempts here, this attempt here is futile, okay? What's wrong about the situation, what's effed up about it, here we go with the devil again, is that this is an attempt to overthrow the will of the voters. You know, this is sort of evil action, bad intention, a malignant behavior. You know, what they're doing is just wrong. It's hurting the country. It's harming democracy. It's, you know, stressing out the populace. It's dividing the nation. This is all the work of the devil here, okay? And that's what's messed up about this, right? We all know that. This is incredibly destructive to our democracy. So the question mark, where do we need to go for more answers? The Queen of Wands. So, you know, my first thought, boom, like this is telling me where we're going to need to go is the new Attorney General, or Kamala Harris. This is a very strong leader, a queen, so definitely a female energy here, who, you know, can quietly and calmly grab the rein on this and be a strong leader. And I feel like this is when the consequences start. So where can we go for more information? We can go to the incoming administration, frankly, to either Kamala, or maybe if they get a female AG in there, we don't know yet who that's going to be. But that's where the strength is. That's what I'm feeling right there, is the new administration starting these investigations, starting to look at what went wrong, how can we fix it, who do we need to hold to account. That's going to be a very difficult thing to do, and that's why it takes so much strength, but that's where we need to look for more information. And I guess that's saying that more information is going to come out. This is when we're going to find out things. They'll start exposing some of the machinations that we didn't see, because what we know on the news is just a little bit that came out that we know of. We don't know all the stuff that's happening behind the scenes. The Queen is going to tell us when she's in power. All right, exclamation point. What action needs to be taken here? Which is the Six of Wands. The action that needs to be taken, I think this speaks to the whole nation, is that as a nation, we need to move on to smoother waters. We need to put all these attacks, all these malintentions, you know, these negative intentions to democracy, these attacks on us, these negative ways of thinking, all these hateful ideas, you know, all the hateful things people have done, like Lindsay, like Trump calling Michigan in, right? Just all these things. We need to put that behind us, or we need to move on from that. We need to move on into smoother waters and a better future for the country. So this card is telling us, or promising that to us, that we will be able to do that. We'll be able to do that. So that is a quick look at Michigan and how that's going to pan out. So I don't see, you know, it's so hard because I don't see it happening. But then Trump always surprises us, doesn't he? He is a magician. He can make some things happen out of thin air you'd have never would have thought was possible. You know, we've all had so much bad news lately. I just want to know, what can the U.S. look forward to? What can we look forward to in the short term? I want to know. I'm just going to pull a little short 3 cards on this. In the short term, Spirit, in the short term, what can the U.S. look forward to? We need a beacon. We need a bright light. We need some good news. We need some hope. You know, we need some hope. We need something that we can look forward to, Spirit. Please show me, what can the U.S. look forward to? All right, let's bring it on down one last time. All right, everybody. Well, so I've got the Two of Wands again. And I'm getting a much different feeling from the card this time. See how those crows almost look like they're cozying up to each other, you know, working together. It's the Two of Wands. So the pair have planned. The pair are organizing. They're coming up. They're coming up with action. And see the world on top there? And all their action is going to be directed right towards us, the world, the community. So I'm definitely getting a sense that this is Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They're going to come in as a new administration, and just all of their work is going to be focused on global issues, you know, national issues, as opposed to themselves, their party, right? Their small little house. No, all their work is going to be outwardly focused to others, helping the world, helping the planet, and so forth. And with the Knight of Pentacles, the only real challenge that this cards are showing right here is just money, okay? So it's always going to be this fight about money. How much is the stimulus going to be? How much is that going to cost? Do we have the money? Now, if it's, you know, yachts for rich people, they find the money. But when it comes to helping regular people, sometimes that money is hard to find. What this Knight, though, is telling us is that it is coming. It might take some time, okay? It might not be as quick as we wanted. So, yeah, it's probably the stimulus we're referring to, because this coin is a financial resource, a financial gift, a benefit that Knight of Pentacles is bringing us these resources, but this is the slowest moving Knight. So unfortunately, it looks like we're still going to have to wait a little bit. There's still a waiting game there. But the outcome, Seven of Pentacles, look at that. I think we're talking about the stimulus here, people. I think this is the good news we're looking at. See, this crow has gotten some money to pad the nest a little bit. There's a nest egg right there. So this is telling me that, yes, some funds are going to be distributed for families, right, to you know, solidify their homes and their positions. That money is going to come out. It's going to come out. But considering, yeah, that's what it is. Again, Joe and Kamala right here, focusing all their attention on helping others. Yeah, it's a little slower than we wanted, but that money's on the way, okay? And yes, the money's going to hit families and give people a little, I'm not going to say a nest egg because that's a savings, but it's going to allow them to feel comfortable in their homes, or a little bit more comfortable in their homes. I'll take that good news. It does, you know, a lot of people can't wait till January. I totally get that. But come January, something's going to happen. Oh, that's when our good news is going to come, okay? A little bit of financial relief, I think. A little bit of financial relief for families. All right, everybody. That is enough for me. It's been a few days since I came out, so I just wanted to throw a couple quick readings out there. But I definitely want to be back with you again shortly. Not wait so long this time. And have a great weekend, you guys. Love ya. Take care.